Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of all the steps you need to evaluate uh, with the quadratic formula to solve a problem. Okay, so first step one, we got to make sure that the equation equals to 0. So you can see this equation doesn't equal 0. So we're going to fix that. So 3 equals 2x squared minus 4x, right? So I'm going to use addition or subtraction to make sure this thing equals 0. So I'm going to subtract 3 from this side. Now, I can't subtract 3 from here because 3 and 2x squared aren't like terms. I can't subtract 3 from here because 3 and negative 4x aren't like terms. So I'm just going to tack it on to the end. So 3 take away 3, that leaves me with just 0 equals 2x squared minus 4x, just minus 3. So that minus 3 just got put onto the end of this equation. All right, so step 1 done, equals 0. Step 2, we got to identify a, b, and c. A is always the coefficient of x squared. It's just 2, not 2x squared, just 2. B is the coefficient of x, so that's going to be negative 4, not 4, negative 4 because of that minus. And so then C is not 3, it is negative 3. All right, so we got A, we got B, we got C. Check, check, check. Now we got to substitute those values into the equation. So let's start with the B's. Here's the B's. Okay, so a B goes here and a B goes there. So B is negative 4, goes there. It's also negative 4. That's always going to be 4. This thing's always going to be 4. A is 2, so I'm going to put a 2 there. And then this A is also 2, so both these A's are 2's. And then C is negative 3. Okay, so I did all that. Substituted. Done. Now, we have to simplify this expression. First, we want to make sure we put the opposite of B. See how it's negative, negative 4? That basically means I need to put the opposite of whatever this is. The opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. Negative 4 squared, you got to be careful with this. Negative 4 squared means negative 4 times negative 4. And a negative times a negative is a positive. So that part's done. Did it. Now I'm going to multiply negative 4 times 2 times negative 3. So negative 4 times 2 times negative 3. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times negative 3 is actually positive 24. So I had minus 4. I know that says minus 4, but when I'm looking at this, I think of it like negative 4 times 2 times negative 3. And 2 times 2 is just 4. Okay? So that's good. And that's good. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide to finish this problem up, okay? So here we go. All right, so basically we had 4 here, we had 16, this was plus 24. Because we've done all these steps, that's done. Now next we have to combine under the square root. So here's the square root, this thing, and 16 plus 24 is 40. There you go. Okay, so that's done. Now to separate this into 2 different solutions, the addition solution, the subtraction solution. One of the reasons I need to do this is one of the things we're actually doing is we're finding the x-intercepts, and lots of quadratic equations have 2 x-intercepts. So I'm going to get one of them from adding and one of them from subtracting. Okay, so I've got 4 plus the square root of 40 over 4, and 4 minus the square root of 40 over 4. Okay, so I'm going to get out my calculator, and you want to be kind of careful. I'm just going to do the 4 plus square root of 40, so 4 plus the square root of 40. I'm going to press enter. I got about 10.32. And then I'm gonna, after I've done that, then I'm gonna divide by 4. So I get about 2.58. That's one of my solutions. Okay. The other solution is going to be 4 minus the square root of 40, which is about negative 2.32 over 4. Okay. Then I'm going to divide that by 4. I get about negative 0.58. Okay. So I mean, the thing I want to be clear about is sometimes there's, if you want, you can just leave your solution as in a radical, right? The square root of 40. You can't simplify that square root of 40. That's fine. You don't necessarily have to go on and find these approximate values. When I'm doing that, I'm getting the approximate location of those x-intercepts. So like one of the x-intercepts is 2.58 approximately. So like, hey, there's that one. And the other one's about negative 0.58. So there's that one. Like I said, you're going to get, in this parabola specifically, you've got 2 x-intercepts, and this plus and minus is giving me those 2 x-intercepts. So that's one worked example with like all the steps laid out, those 6 steps for how to find the solution. Okay.